Alrighty team, how are we? Welcome. Guys, ladies and gents, hope you're all having a wonderful start to your day, or a wonderful day wherever you are around the world. And let's see what we can come up with moving forward here today. Without further ado, guys, let's get the show on the road and let's get it started. So, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Well, welcome everyone. So here we are yet again today on the charts, having a look at obviously gold and also GJ and any other pairs per request, and we'll see what we can come up with moving forward. Guys, you know the drill. If you could, please smash that like button on YouTube, TikTok, smash that screen for me. Let's have a good one, team, and let's quickly, before we move forward, let's have a look at the news to see what we've got in regards to anything that is scheduled for our session here today. So nothing of high impact is scheduled. However, obviously it is a big day, big few days ahead for the US dollar in particular, with ADP to come today, unemployment claims tomorrow, and the big one on Friday with NFP. So a lot to consider, a lot to ponder moving forward for those who do trade gold and the majors. But anyway, guys, we will get stuck into the analysis, and if you have questions or any charts you would like me to go over, please feel free to send those into the chat. I'm the only stream that will actually do it without asking for you to send me a chart in first. So let's get cracking, guys, and let's have a good one, and start with, as always, let's start with the gold. And on that weekly time frame, what we can see is making a little bit of a pullback within the current weekly candle at the minute. However, we are still forming a very strong bullish candle, not quite engulfing that previous candle at the right now. At the minute, we do have that high low high. Once again, based off the way the current weekly candle is forming, what I am to do is to look to see within it what levels we have previously formed of levels of support, where if we do pull back, we would anticipate price to potentially respect those levels in order to form another support, head back up, where we could get we could find ourselves with some potential options, take a buy back up. And also what levels, if we were to begin to pop below it, what sort of traffic do we have to the left hand side in? What sort of catalyst might we have in order to maybe take a sell upon a deeper pullback within the current weekly candle? Still at this stage, don't necessarily need to pull back to create that lower wick. We've not done so on the last, well, now 4 candles, not create that wick in the opposite direction to the end closure of the candle. On to the daily time frame, what we can see, we are still technically bullish in structure, but what we do have is that previous daily closing back a bearish candle, quite a strong one as well. So off the back of that, current candles create a significant upper wick. We are back below now this resistance here to the left hand side, kind of hovering around the level, but we're just back below it. So we know if we were to break that previous daily candle's low, we do have the counter probabilities at that point to the downside, and there is a high probability at that point that we will in fact come back down and potentially create that lower wick on the weekly time frame. Now onto the 4 hour, what we can see is the structure on this time frame is technically bullish. We have formed support there at that previous daily candle's low. So to me, that's a key level. To me, that will be a level where if we were to continue bullish, I would like to see the buy step back in. And that's when I can go down to the minor timeframes to look for what I would like to as a catalyst to potentially get involved in a buy to take it back up. Just about to close this 4 hour candle. So just a little premature, but I'm going to mark in a 4 hour zone just here. This candle is forming resistance. So that will be the current 4 hour range. Technically, we are bullish in structure. So we've got the daily candles to the downside. We've got the weekly being bullish. Now onto the 30-minute time frame. And what we can see is we are still technically bullish on the 30-minute time frame. Or we have flipped bullish actually. And we will remain bullish so long as we really remain above this support. Technically, it's this wick here, 33, 46, 60 roughly. But irrespective, seeing we are near this 4 hour support just now, we have tapped into a level on the 30-minute. What I would prefer to see at the minute on gold is, let me just mark in another zone just quickly. Let me mark in that level just there. Let's go down to the 15. Yep, that level is correct. So we'll leave that in. What can we do maybe to the downside? Could we adjust this ever so slightly? Could there be possible options to sell it maybe prior to price breaking below the lowest point of the 4-hour level? So let me just draw in another zone just here. All right, so they're going to be my zones for the time being. We know we are approaching 4-hour level, so for the time being, what I really love to see is for price to come back down. We are forming a bearish candle, about to confirm a pretty strong bearish candle here on the M15. So if price was to pop back down to tap into this 4-hour support, I'd be satisfied that perhaps we've pulled back to a level sufficient enough in order for us to grab some more liquidity to perhaps bounce off, close above the most recent resistance, and make the move back up towards the next level there at that 3360, that sort of region. So at the back of that, in a few moments time, we could be drawing in another zone just here, and that's the first potential option to look for a buy in my opinion. Aside from that, further buy options will be above the most recent resistance here formed at 3360.7. as I mentioned yesterday, guys, if we break through a ceiling and tap back into it, then what we're likely to do is confirm a floor, which is the support, and then the next likely destination is the next ceiling to the upside, which is the resistance at 3366 roughly. So buys above 3360.69 roughly at this stage. Now we are, again, the bias is technically bullish, however current daily for the time being we've formed a bit of structure to the downside. So if we were to pull back, respect 3360, even pop above only to reject and begin to close back below it, that point there, I also would look for an option to take a potential sell back down towards the 4-hour support and just trade the 30-minute resistance just within the 4-hour range and look for the sells from that level if we did respect it. So I'd be looking for that to present as well. I'm just going to remove the zone to the upside for the time being, and we may consider some sells below 3344 as we do actually have some pretty clean traffic, albeit within the 4-hour zone. We do have some very clean traffic down towards 3338. So long as we do have the margin, if price begun to push towards that level below 3344, as long as we've got the margin, I would also consider options to take a sell back down towards 3338, that sort of region, 3337. So that is my current opinion of the gold. Excuse me, apologies guys, I'm gonna be clearing my throat, still a fair bit. Yeah, anything in between right now, look, we'll wait and see. If this closes weak bearish and then we get a bullish engulfing candle on the following M15, perhaps that will be enough, because we'll have at that point, we would have had a 30-minute closing back bullish, which is in 30 minutes about to close shortly. So I may consider that, but for the time being, I'm just going to wait at least another 15 minutes before I look for any possibilities here on the gold. Hopefully it made sense. In the meantime, let's turn our attention to good old GJ. We took a win with the team, with the members group, Pre and Y yesterday on live from the call, to call it out in the chat prior to taking the entry, and then I hopped on the call right as we were basically being triggered in almost, and we took a win on GJ yesterday for a buy. But anyway, let's take a look at the current state of affairs here on GJ and a weekly. So look at that, we've actually flipped back and we are forming a strong bullish candle again, but these wicks are just difficult. I mean, every time we've wicked above that 194, 195 flat, we just keep dropping straight back down. So anyway, we are forming a bullish candle, a strong bullish one at the minute. Daily good thing is you have counter probabilities now to the upside. A really strong bounce off that support, a bullish engulfing liquidity candle broke low of the previous, would have had a lower high, lower low at some point, only to push and break above the high of that bearish candle and close bullish engulfing is a strong indication that price could potentially continue to the upside. The back of that, we're going to mark in the current daily candles high and low. Doesn't look like we've got a great deal of margin though to the upside above the current daily candles high, but maybe on a minor time frame we'll have some cleaner traffic. We'll see if we have any sort of catalyst below the daily low to look for any potential sells. Onto the 4 hour time frame, and believe it or not, the way I see it, still, or is it? No, it's technically bullish. It has flipped bullish. So that was the lowest point. Let me hone in on this. The lowest point the market got to. Let me just mark in horizontal here, just so I can confirm it. Or we have just closed below it. So therefore there is a swing just here. So therefore, technically speaking, it's bullish. So bullish with counter probabilities being to the upside above the current daily candles high. Looks like we have some very clean traffic to the left. Daily candles low. Let's see what type of catalyst, if we have any, below that point for a potential sell on the minor time frame, that being the M30 here on GJ. Lines up with some resistance here to the left as well. So options for sells below daily low look pretty good at this point, and likely options above the current daily candles high. So on to now the 30-minute time frame. And will we have a catalyst? It's the highest point. Yep, so we will. All right, so perfect. Simple stuff here on GJ today as to what I want to see in order to execute upon a high probability entry. So long as we remain above 194,472, the current daily candles low, we are technically going to remain bullish on the 30-minute time frame, bullish in a 4 hour, bullish in a daily, bullish in a weekly, bullish across the board. So for me, for there to be a catalyst in order to consider a sell at the minute in a big strong uptrend, I want price to begin to pop below the current daily candles low, flip the structure on the M30 time frame, and then at that point I would have a high probability on a sell option from below 194,472. So that's what I'll be looking at for the sells. Otherwise, very simple, waiting for price to make a clean pullback towards support here at 194.50 to 60, that sort of region, and await price action catalyst for a buy. Or the final option, or could be the first option if it does present, is if price was to retest the high, begin to pop above the current daily candles high. At that point there, we've got high probability that price will continue to the upside. We've got some very clean traffic to the left as well, moving in line with the trend, in line with the daily candle probabilities. To me, that would be a very high probability trade as well for GJ. So GJ looking quite good at the minute. Just need to patiently wait for it to either pop above the daily high or back towards the support or back below that support. So very simple analysis here on GJ. Hopefully that does make sense. So guys, as I mentioned, let's have a good one. Let me mark in a level here on gold just quickly, and I'll get to you guys in the chat. Let me just add an alert here to GJ. Not sure what's been going on, guys. I'm not sure if any of you guys have had the same issue, but using IC markets, I've had a few things gone astray with the terminal last day or two. Yeah, even my EA that I used to manage trades had totally disappeared from it, which was a bit of a pain because I had to upload it again and all that stuff, which, you know, it takes time. But I don't know if anyone else is experiencing some technical issues with IC markets in a minute. Carl, good morning to you. All Porsche, good morning to you, mate. It's stressful morning, so I'm definitely not placing any trades. Fair enough, mate. James, good morning to you, brother. Bartman, Tommy, Franco. Yeah, cheers, guys. Almost forgot to bloody send a Zoom link. I haven't even gotten the Zoom set up. Just give us a sec to my members. I'll let you guys in shortly. TikTok, I will say g'day to you guys shortly, and I'll answer any questions that you guys have for me. So yesterday we did catch a nice win on GJ for on the members call. So it's been a good week, 2-0 to begin the week. Good start to the new month after a fantastic March. Things just keep on rolling. It's been a fantastic year, to be honest. Every year I've gotten better and better. All right, where are we? There we go, link posted for any of the team who wants to join the chat. And you, TikTok, g'day, ladies and gents, welcome, welcome. All right, who we got here today? Good day to the 80 old of you on stream right now. Mark, morning to you. My moderator, hope you're well. Back to Matrix, swiping to gold today. Not much, gone up, gone down, doing what gold does. Gold trader, gold's been choppy, yep. Hayden, morning to you. TG, gold is getting on my nerves. Yeah, fair enough. Well, just gotta be patient with it. Gold trader algorithms are taking liquidity. There's not much going on. It's been some pretty nice moves throughout the day, but I wasn't on charts for it, to be honest. Gold traders, scalpers, short-term traders are giving liquidity. Man, card Ewag one. Gold sell, if you say so. Giraffe in a buy tray. Fair enough, mate. I'm waiting for it to. Love for it to tap into his 4-hour support. So a little bit lower down, but we'll see. Leyland, James, g'day to you guys. Sorry, Leyland, I was calling you Lee last night. Not sure why. Target gold 33, 31.80. All right, so okay. Market very long 33.50. I wish you luck. The XRP, Queen XRP, XYO, and Fuzzy Bear. Wouldn't mind getting involved in XRP, but I justified buying at this level. Waiting for a bit of a pullback. Probably if it starts to pop below the $2 mark, I might start to appeal to me again. May not do it though, and I might miss out, but it's what it is. Been hearing some bloody good things about it though.
This morning reminds me of those times where we used to just set buy stops at 8 o'clock for London Open and it would just fly.
Every morning without fail. Every single morning. GCAT and GJ, 8 o'clock. Which was just which one's about to break out, which one's closer to breaking out. Buy stop. Not saying do it now though, because it doesn't work the same anymore. That was 5 years ago. About 4 or 5 years ago. Good old days when a breakout trade was the #1 trade. Now it's one of my least favorites.
That was COVID trading, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. Yep. Right at the beginning of it, actually. It's good fun, though. It's over and done with very quickly. The tank, buy or sell, nothing in a minute. What app should I use in Australia? Potato. Same app we use anywhere in the world, my friend. I'm also in Oz. TradingView is what I use to mark up my charts. And then you need to be connected to a broker and then download either MetaTrader, C-Trader, or whatever platform they offer, and trade through that, execute trades through that. Gold trader could not take a position, looking for $6 profit. Yeah, haha, potato. Just answer that for you, mate. Man, card Ewag one. Gold is bearish, if you say so. Simmy and Chloe market's going much higher this month. About to cook on GJ Ronaldo's. GJ, buy now. Nah, not just yet, guys. Still got the resistance here at the daily high that's got to deal with. Buy or sell to my Vietnamese friend Tuan Tien. Nothing in a minute. P Diddy, welcome. How's life treating you these days in that cell of yours? lathered up with baby oil, probably singing his cell right now. Mr. P. Diddy, all the way from cell block. Oh, who knows? Saddam's cell. Gold trade 1 number is your 4-hour support. It's actually, the 4-hour support really starts here at 33.46. So now 15-minute good. What stock is this? This is not a stock. This is spot gold and Great British Pound, Japanese yen. Google's more into you. Saddam, the coin name is gold. It's not crypto, mate. Not everything's crypto. Sudan, gold or Bitcoin? Look, controversial. Actually, it's not controversial. I'm all for gold, but I know a majority of you would say Bitcoin. Gold is the safest houses. Bitcoin, not that it's going to happen, but any moment someone around the world, whoever they might be, goes to rule it, could flip the switch. Everything as far as on a digital, ledger or whatever, it just disappears, completely disappears, including bank accounts and everything. It's a possibility. It's not as far-fetched as what it might seem these days. Whereas that is, ooh, look at gold now. So all of a sudden your cash can go missing. Gold can't. If you've got it in your possession, it's there, it's yours. Leyland, a bit of both. Can't trade Bitcoin. You have Harrington and Vent. Okay. Bit of volatility here on gold at the minute. Price is spiking up and down. I kind of want to wait for a 30-minute closure at this stage, because we still ended up closing back bearish on the previous M30, so we don't yet have the tap into that 4-hour support, nor do we have the support confirmation on the 30-minute time frame. So we're gonna wait and see here on gold. GJ currently rejecting. Carl, I assume Mark's been okay in desktop. Mobile wasn't reading trade history though. Yeah, no, it's been strange because I'm talking about desktop. AMG, seeing key area at 33.53, 425 to 33.04. Yeah, okay. One, sell. Liars. Is there a fair value gap in the first bearish candle? Don't know, don't trade it, mate. This is price action. Gold trader, Chinese sold gold in the first hour of opening, traded 50s to mid 40s. The Japanese bought it up. No idea, to be honest. Possibly. Again, I'm not concerned by all that. Just concerned by what these candles, how these candlesticks are printing. That's it. That will dictate and determine whether or not I take a trade. Leyland, Google the Carrington event. I'll write it down, because I wasn't too sure what you were talking about, to be honest. Maybe I know of it, but I just wasn't sure what it was called. 74N6Y buy. Sam Dando sell. Tell you what, this coffee's not too bad. Not worried about buy or sell at the minute because I'm just waiting for it to tell me what it wants to do, and at the moment I don't really have anything. So GJ, nice catalyst candle here, but just above support. We got some minor support, so there is no option to sell it, and it is in a very big strong uptrend at the minute. So not keen on selling GJ at all until we have that catalyst. So I'm going to patiently wait for that. And if it doesn't present, I'm obviously favoring and looking for options to buy it. They get 2 new followers. TikTok, smash that screen, guys. Let's get everyone onto the stream. Let's make this the #1 stream for trading, Forex trading. YouTube guys as well, don't forget to smash the like button. Sam Dendo, yeah, every day. Well, obviously Monday to Friday. We have been absolutely destroying it on stream. Honestly, guys. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not the guy who takes the most trades. I don't take, you know, hundreds of trades a day, a week, or whatever, or a month. I don't hunt trades, I patiently wait. But we've barely taken a loss this year. I think it's for the whole year, it's 6 losses and something like 35 wins or something. And I did miss a fair bit of time as well, so it's not like I've been training every single day on stream. So the overall stream win rate since I've started streaming is 80.77 or something. That's with 105 wins.
If you said that to most people, they'd say there's no chance anyone can have an 80% plus win rate on FX.
No, but for the most part, most people, because for the most part they won't have the discipline and patience to wait for a probable setup.
Yeah.
They'll be trading 5 times a day, whereas I'm happy to sit and not trade if there is nothing to trade.
There's such a better way to do it, also just mentally.
Yeah, oh man, learned the hard way, you know, years back. Being stressed out, trying to get money back. And
how many pips did you take on those GBpjpys yesterday?
Yesterday, not a huge amount, to be honest. They were basically the first TP. Then it came back down to entry, and then it popped up again. So
I think I just about had 9 pips on the table at one point.
Yeah, I had a little bit more because I got slipped in. Thank God I got in.
Earlier,
yeah, and a pip and a half lower down than what the actual entry was at the time.
Oh, that makes sense.
That was really weird yesterday, what was happening on GJ around that time. Some of the guys didn't get triggered in. I got triggered in, but I got triggered in at a lower price. You got triggered in at your normal price. It was just, it's very strange. But yeah, I got just around the 9, something like that. Buddy, kindly check EU. Wow, the gold now. Let's see if we're going to get 30 bullish engulfing here. If we do so, I'm going to be looking for buys. EU. I will quickly have a look at EU. Leyland. Coronal mass ejection in the 1800s. If it happened again, now we'll go back to Dark Ages. Bitcoin, no good then. Okay. We'll look at it a bit later on for sure. Love looking into that sort of stuff. All right, EU. So let's have a look at EU, and at the minute rejecting quite heavily the current weekly candle once again. Very similar to what I mentioned on GJ before, but GJ is actually pushing through the wicks. EU is respecting these wicks to the left. So that 114 sort of region and 115 is the very troublesome area or level for EU to remain above. Daily, nice strong closure in that previous daily candle. We know the structure is technically bullish, but looking at counter probabilities themselves, that is to the downside. We are near the support though, so maybe not a great deal of margin to the downside. Let's just mark in the current daily candles high and see what we've got above that point. 4 hour is also technically bullish at a support here to the left. Let's mark that level in, including the bearish wick for the time being. Mark in that resistance. Looking similar to gold. It's a tricky level, to be honest. Probably just that a little bit more. The 30 is definitely bearish. Alright, so on EU, I don't see any clean areas to buy from above the current area because you're just running straight into resistance. So what I'd be looking for in EU, again, I'm the patient trader, so I'd just be waiting for it to either pop above 113.929. At point there, you're moving into clean traffic, you're bouncing off the 4-hour support, you're going to have a confirmation if you to await the candle to close of the M30 structure flipping back bullish. There's your catalyst. And if it does pull up only to reject, I'll be looking for sell options. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'd probably avoid the level below this current 4-hour support, so below 113.525, and wait for price to start to move below 113.430 when we, at that point there, have some very clean traffic to the left. So that's what I would look for on EU as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Stick with gold for the time being. You can buy around 33, 36. No, I think it buys around 33, 54. Closes above. Gold, a trader win rate means nothing to being successful. Well, it kind of does, mate. If you have a really good win rate, you're likely a successful trader. And yesterday too, not only was it's not just about the win, because I went through it step by step how I was managing a trade when I was adjusting my stop loss, and had it taken me out, it would have ended up being like a 3 pip loss or something. So I'm always managing my trades in drawdown, but it ended up being a win either way, and it was a well executed trade. So as long as you're managing your trades, yes, win rate, why doesn't it mean anything when it comes to success? I beg to differ. Nelly, the brutal trader, hello to you. Will you buy that? Potentially going to look to buy gold. I need to wait 7 minutes. Gold trader 16 open trades. Be careful, Hayden. You are us or US. I don't think gold will sell. I don't think anything. I react. That's what we need to do as traders. Don't trade what you think will happen. React. GJ. Melting. All right. It could be potentially a catalyst. Needs to close below though. Is that, what are you waiting for? A similar thing or?
Yeah, same thing. But also don't want it to happen on this candle. Really don't want it to happen on this candle.
Yeah, I mean the good thing is it's back at that support, so even if it does respect it, could get some options to buy it back up as well. But let's see on gold. So there's no impulse entries for me here. And if it in fact just pops up, so be it. Not fast at all. Then the potential buys above 33.60 could come into play and the sells back below it. Zenab, what comments are you reading? Both the comments on TikTok and YouTube, and also from my members group. Man's multitasking. Thank you to the new followers. So I'm keeping on the 30-minute here because that's the time frame that will validate this entry. 30-minute closure above this resistance, 15-minute resistance. Closing that point will be closing pretty much engulfing either way. And that will be my plan for a buy. Mo, what's the plan here? Plan is to wait for a closure above the 15-minute resistance here on gold on the M30, which will close the M30 pretty much bullish engulfing. If that's the case, I will look for a buy. Otherwise, happy to wait and potentially for it to come back down to the 4-hour zone. And let's see what happens at that point. All about patience, guys. Can't stress it enough. Trading is not meant to be fun, in all honesty. If you want, you know, something to enlighten your senses and, you know, something exhilarating or whatever, and maybe chuck on a game, or I don't know. It's not that for me. It's just, it's work. You follow the rules, follow the plan. Have to be very disciplined and patient throughout and wait and then react. If you get your opportunity in accordance to your plan, you react. If not, you just sit and chill again. I used to be one of those guys who wanted to press the buttons and wanted to be involved, and then I regret it once I was involved and I was going the wrong way because I didn't have the right confirmation, just because I was bored. I wanted to make a quick buck. All right, 3 minutes left. Let's see. How are we going to get closure above? Once again, rule-based trading is very simple. It's not shit wall. All right, I still want to take it though. We haven't closed above, but I still want to take it. It's no FOMO. It's none of that. It's just simply sticking to the rules. Where's the highest point of this candle? $355.01. All right, just over 2 minutes remaining, guys. Let's see. It's starting to look okay. IL, do you share insights on GU? I most definitely do, but not right now because I'm focused on gold. Got 2 minutes remaining to see if this ends up being a valid trade. And if it's not, then I will have a look at GU for you. Otherwise, I'll have a look at it a little later on. Just want to keep an eye on gold for the time being. Thing is, if we don't close above it, then we're pretty much just consolidating on the 15 here. So we really need that strong close. All right, it's fine. Yeah, I will definitely look at it though. I do look at it because some of my teams trade it. Franco trades it. When you're done, please check NQ. Hayden. All right, no worries. NQ and GU. So we're looking okay, guys. Just want to pop up a little bit further. And then what we need to do is wait for the following candle to create a lower wick. If it does, the buy stop's going to be valid above the high of the current candle. So we're looking pretty good. So what I suggest is, if you are following along and you agree with the entry, have a look at what the highest point of the current candle is on your broker. Wait for it to close. And once you've got the new candle creating a lower wick, you can pretty much set your buy stop a couple pips above the high of this candle. And we're starting to push. Hope it leaves an upper wick. If not, again, there is no valid entry. Could be a quick one, guys, so just be wary of that. No freaking upper wick. Ah. No trade. No trade for me. No upper wick. Now, a lot of time what happens is the candle's even just going to pop straight up. Might be a take it without a low wick in the following candle. Or what's going to happen is this candle ends up melting and closing back pretty strong bearish. So again, this is experience on the charts, guys. I've been on the charts for more than 8 years now. And that's the likely scenario here. However, it is more probable if it creates that low wick just now and then flips again. I don't like it. I don't like the no lower wick scenarios. Upper wick, sorry. Okay, you got a buy stop 33.60. Ray, Brian, which pair? This is gold. And let's look at the hourly. How's the hourly forming? I'm not happy with that wick. Not having a wick. I wanted to tap into this support. This previous resistance, sorry. So let's just mark that in. If it does, and then we flip again, then I feel it could be a decent option. Maybe we'll just pull back to this area consolidation and grab some more liquidity to make the move back up. But otherwise, just going to avoid it because again, I will prefer to have wicks in both directions prior to any entry. Because the amount of times that I see the following candle just ends up closing back a strong bearish candle after a closure like so. I mean, it's probably about 70 to 80% of the time. If I was to hazard a guess, so let me look at GU. All right, so let's do the top down GU here, and the weekly again still off the back of the previous at this stage, although the current is forming quite a strong bullish candle. So I mean, off the back of that, I suppose we're looking similar sort of scenario as the gold. Want to see what levels we've got within it. The daily closed back bearish, begins to break that previous daily candle's low. Good chance it could make a deeper pullback to 4 hour. Lines up with the 4 hour support just here. Structurally, it does remain bullish. Resistance is that point there onto the 30. Just that ever so slightly. Just that also. All right, so we're right in the middle here. Choppy price action. So this rate, I'd rather see price. Well, first of all, it's bullish on the 30. So I'd rather see price either pop back down to this 4 hour support and provide a strong entry signal for a buy back up, or wait for it to pop up to the resistance, just trade the 4 hour range. Otherwise, I'd be looking for options on the side of it. Buys above, sells below, look good. That's very simply how I'd be looking at GU, to be honest, right now. There's nothing much in between, just because you don't have any clean traffic to the left. You've got more resistance within the middle of the range. So for me, likely not going to be an option. If we look at gold, yeah, it is what it is. Again, rule based trading, so I'm gonna stick to my rules. NQ looks similar to GJ, actually. It looks very similar to GJ. You got a very strong weekly bullish candle. You got the daily, nice strong candle closure in the previous daily. Need a catalyst in order to sell it. Let's see if there is one below the daily candle's low. The 4 hour is, believe it or not, the way I see it, still technically bearish as long as it remains below that 21.858. Marking that level as well. Marking that as well. 30-minute is definitely bullish, so the bias would be to the upside. Let's quickly go down to the 15. So what I would be looking at is all right, So kind of in consolidation as well. So I'd want it to come back down to the support 21,650, grab liquidity from the downside and on the 15 and wait at price action catalyst for a buy, or look for the buyers back above 21,750. And that would be pretty much it. There's nothing in between because you ran straight into these wicks. So perhaps above 21,727, you might have a little bit of margin. Take a cheeky buy back up towards the high of the 4-hour resistance. So that could be also an option above that point there. Yeah, I wouldn't consider selling it because selling it into consolidation as well. So I'd rather just ignore the sell and wait for it to make a clean move down, form support. Below that support, it looks a lot cleaner. You'll also be breaking a daily low. You don't yet have a catalyst though. You're not flipping any structure on a 30 or anything. Yeah, but that's how I see NQ. And for the time being, we've got another wait here on both Gold and GJ. But we'll see, guys. Don't stress it. Chill. So man, Sam Dando, short it. If you must, you may short it. Market move, stop loss if it does flip you safe. All good. SpongeBob, do you think gold will retest 33, 32? Sounds like someone might be in a trade. I mean, no one knows, man. Again, I react to what I see. What I think could happen, I think gold's going to continue to the moon eventually. That's what I personally think. If you ask me what I personally think, I think gold will eventually make its way up to 5k. Not saying it's going to happen this year. 4k is quite realistic. Eventually 10k, even 20, I would not be surprised. Not saying it's happening anytime soon. This could be, you know, a decade down the track or something. That's what I think will happen. What I see happening is I'm more concerned by the current area. And I'm more concerned by the fact that we've got 4-hour support at 33.46 roughly. So whether or not I can break through that, I mean, this whole area down to 33 basically is 4-hour support. It's a big zone on the 4-hour. So that's what I'm concerned about. Not whether or not price can come back down to that point. I'll only be concerned by that once we're, you know, back below 33.44 roughly. Until that happens, I'm just focused on where we're at just now, and I react to what I see. And that's what we all should be doing as traders. If you're in a swing trade or something, it's a different story, I understand. But that's not me. I'm not a swing trader. Ill, from your analysis, you looking at the bearish and bullish movement from London Open? Again, I just react to what I see, mate. Leyland, can you please explain no top bottom wick theory, please? Well, a lot of the time, it's just from experience, time on the charts. A lot of time when candles close with no, in this case, no upper wick, it's often followed by a candle that ends up closing back a strong bearish candle. I'm not sure if it's to do with there's no follow through, like that is that, like, there's no more momentum to the upside. I'm not sure, like, if it's lack of volume or what it is, but it's just one of those things that, like, if you look at it here, you're seeing a bearish candle with no lower wick. What follows it was a strong bullish candle. Same thing here, bearish candle, no lower wick, followed by another strong bullish candle. Same thing here, it wasn't a strong bearish candle, but you had a candle closing back bearish after the candle closes with no upper wick. So if you go through the charts, go back through the charts, the amount of times you see that sort of thing happen, I mean, it happens quite regularly. That's why, for me, it's a must. Often these candles are followed by candles that just tank in the opposite direction. So I wanted to leave a small upper wick, and I want to create a small lower wick, and then it's valid. But again, it's just from experience, man. I'm such a strict, disciplined trader that, yeah, I could have got tempted into that. You know, in the past, for sure, FOMO would have crept in. 100%. But I know better now because I've learned the hard way. Tank, again, what I think could happen and what actually happens, who knows, man. I'm more focused on what's happening right in front of me. I didn't appreciate it. Nice one. Alex, BRB. Dollar Swiss. Haven't looked at that for ages. Is that how low it is at the moment? Shit. US dollar's really shitting the bed. Wish the Aussie was pumping a little more. What was your target, mate? 81,745. Well, it's a 4-hour support that you're targeting. And you're selling it from the 4-hour resistance. So it's a realistic target if you want to hold it for like a mini swing, I suppose. Not sure what you got in at and where your stop loss is. And if you know, if you're trading off a valid confirmation or just purely price tapping into a level. But yeah, I see it as not a bad destination for sure. It's a realistic target. But again, just depends. Well, what are you doing? You're scalping it, you're swing trading it, you're intraday trading it, whatever it is. I don't know. Mini swing. Seke. I have a trade open from 3305 and aiming for 3500. That's fair enough. If that's your plan, man. Just be careful. Don't, obviously you're in some significant profit, so don't give it all back. The Ranger 4.4k for sure on gold. Yeah, I think eventually. Mark, my lowest support is slightly higher than yours, so was able to get in before you went live. Okay, fair enough. The tank should have closed gold. You need to have a plan, mate. Prior to any entry, you need to know what will invalidate the trade, even if you're in the entry. What will make you want to get out of the trade? What point you're going to secure some profit if it goes into the profit? What point you're going to, again, cut your losses if it goes against you? At what point you're going to trail your stop loss? Things like that. You need to have all that predetermined. So entry of the tank 33.49. Yeah, what's his stop loss, mate? Luchin. So we hold it by. Again, if that's yours, it's up to you, mate. I'd be targeting 33.60 if you are in a buy. Low volume buy. TFX, so this is what I was talking about, break and retest. Yesterday? Can't quite remember. Stop loss 33.60. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it might get hit, to be honest. Personally, I reckon it will. The Ranger London 7 push gold up. And that's all good because there's options above 33.60.7 roughly. So again, no FOMO. We don't need to force anything, guys. There's 15 minutes until London open. Just chill, relax. Leyland, all good, mate. GJ, we need this to close strong, bullish in the 15, followed by a weak pause. Yeah. Take going shoot up. If you were to ask my personal opinion of what I, again, what I think will happen is it's more probable for it to shoot up, but this rejection on the previous candle would suggest that maybe it's going to keel back over. But again, I don't trade on what I think will happen. I react to what I see happening, and I react to trade signals within price action, which will, validate my entry. I don't have anything personally, but it could, and this is sitting on the fence, it's not going to help you much. It could go either way. And the reason why I say that is because it's left a long upper wick on that previous candle. You are within a current daily trending to the downside just now, albeit if forming a weak bullish candle, but the move prior to the current bounce was to the downside. So perhaps it's just creating a lower high and you could be safe. So who knows, man, honestly. And that's why I said you need to have a bit of a plan prior to entering as to how you're going to go about managing it. If it goes against you, at what point you're going to just let it go to full stop loss. That's fine, fair enough. Forex, good day to you. In Jenga till 33.88. Sky, yeah, no upper wick either. Yeah, it's tough when you don't have it. Leyland, that was tapping into previous week high. Oh, it was too, yep. Oh, okay, and the rejection on the 15. That's a good point. Roger, thank you for sharing a live. Thank you, minus £150 for today. It's all good, mate. You just need to, again, follow and trade your plan. Alrighty, guys. Give me a moment or two. I will be back very, very soon. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gents. TFX waking up to 3k profit, beautiful. Should I not work this month? Up to you. Forex is easy. It's not as hard as what people think, that's for sure. If you're just strict and disciplined with it, follow your plan. If you know your plan works for you, it isn't that difficult in all honesty. The hardest part is controlling your emotions. That's reality. Most people can't sit here and they always have to be in the markets every 5 seconds. And if your plan dictates that, you know, and you are trained in accordance to your plan and you know you're doing well, then it's a different story. But for me, my plan presents when I don't know. It does present each day, but it might not be when I'm on the charts. That's the thing. Because I don't want to sit on the charts for 10 hours of a day. I watch the charts for a max, you know, 3-4 hours max. TFX price action tells the story will happen for our fair value gap. Fair enough. I don't trade fair value gaps to make new 4-hour highs. I need a signal here on GJ. What I'm seeing right now is yes, we're at 4-hour support, but the strength of that previous 30-minute candle, I don't have a bullish engulfing. I don't have a catalyst here, unless I've got something on the 15. And that would be a bullish engulfing M15 or a minor pause. So like if this candle, previous candle closed strong bullish and this one closed weak bearish, then I've got a signal. I don't have it at the minute, unfortunately. I need to wait for a minor resistance to form. And again, it's just trading my edge, trading my signals. This is what I now need to see in the next 15-minute candle. If this candle closed like so. And if that was to present, then I'm potentially taking a buy in GJ as it breaks the high of the catalyst M30. Well, the M30 candle that forms support at support. Your catalyst being that weak pause, minor resistance, price breaks minor resistance, clean traffic to left, high chance heading back up. That to me is a signal. Without it, I don't really have a catalyst at the minute on GJ as well. Again, it's just me trading to my strengths. That's all I'm doing. Remove that. And gold, there still could be options here on gold too. Still could be some really good options.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, mate?
Hey, I'm okay.
How's it going? Good?
You?
Yeah, all good, my friend, all good.
Better?
Yeah, slightly. Still got my nose just continues to produce rubbish. that's a pain. I went to the gym and the whole time I'm like sniffling and trying to be discreet about it. But
maybe too early for sport?
oh no, I got the energy and all that back, so I felt good. Just yeah, it's just people probably looking like, oh, this guy's sick and he's at the gym. But I was pretty good at disguising it, I think. Just pretend I was wiping sweat off my forehead. Really, I was just quickly blowing the nose. What are we looking at today, brother?
Yeah, I'm sent the analysis, my analysis.
Oh yeah, let me look.
Yeah, but it's the same as you already mentioned, so it's pretty easy. So
yeah, exact same basically.
yeah.
Yep.
So let's see.
Nice one. Phil was also sent
Did
He's-
you take a win on your G trade yesterday, Franco?
No,
It's
I
EU.
didn't, James. So I closed because it takes too much time, and then I close it at one time when it reversed to the positive side because it was Xauusd, and then it stick another
Same.
few minutes there, and then was closing 2.7 pips in a loss, and then after some minutes the price went completely down. So if I would stay longer there, I would make some deep profits. Otherwise, it was a small loss in compared to my GGIs before.
Yeah, well managed.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Very well managed. That's something we're pretty strict on in this group. Keeping those losses small.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
It does.
Because after, if you going to make some profits, if you getting your losses small, yeah, it's easier than to make profits at the end. Yeah,
Correct.
other trades.
Correct. After a week, if you've, maybe one win, one loss, and a break even or something, if you've managed your loss quite well, by the time you still end up in a bit of a profit. So
Correct, and this is what counts at the end, yeah, that you are in profits, and even if it's small, but better to be in profit.
Yeah,
than
correct.
in loss.
all right, GJ bouncing from within, basically ping pong between the 4-hour support and 30-minute resistance here. Again, there's no real strong confirmation. Gold. Oh, let's see something here. 30 odd pips. We are trending to the downside, but we are technically bullish on the 30. What I'm seeing is we've got a 15-minute engulfing candle. A little bit of margin down to the 15-minute support. There could be possibilities to perhaps sell gold at session open just here. So long as we remain below 33.60, I would look for the option to sell if I have the margin. I may have the margin. I wanted to close bearish engulfing on the 15. Very, very close to it, if not. And I want the new calendar to definitely have an upper wick. And that way I could definitely manage the trade. If it does begin to go against me, your stop loss would have to be above the minute, the current 15. So it's about 40 pips roughly. Doesn't look a bad option at the minute, but we need to wait just over a minute and a half. Bastion, ready bought gold. App, I'm 14, I've lost over 8k. Can you give me tips on what to do better? Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose, to be honest, mate. You need to, again, hopefully you have a plan, you're following that plan, you're not treating it like a casino, even though you're underage and you shouldn't be either way. Yeah, but man, just chill with the live funds maybe for the time being. Or only throw in what you're willing to or what you can afford to lose. Can't imagine making big bucks as a 14-year-old. You're likely going to be going to school and probably have a part-time job or something. Good thing is you're young and you're learning, so that's great. I wish I was trading when I was 14 years old. So you got plenty of time, my friend, but just chill when it comes to the live funds maybe. And follow proper risk management as well. So maybe only risk 1 or 2% trade. All right, so let's focus on gold here. Want it to close strong. Not like this. It doesn't look like it's going to be valid. Again, it's just simple. It's following rules. There's no emotions attached to it at all. If the rule ticks off, then I can look for a trade. If not, I know I have to wait, and that's what I have to do just now. I have to wait. Didn't tick the box. I now have to wait and reassess. GJ, I need that resistance. We're back right in the middle of this range, so it's a bit of a wait again, guys. Let's quickly take a look at things. Let's have a look at GA. We are at session open, very choppy at the minute. EU, yep, bounced off the support. Was there options? Possibly not. GU, upward wick just there, bit off putting. EU, nothing there. Euro CAD, not looking bad. Needs to close above this resistance. It could be options to buy it. Bearish engulfing for selves. EJ looking like GJ. EJ looks good, but you just need to let it decide. EA used to be a whipping boy excuse me, of ours until it decided to whip us. That was about 4 or so 5 years ago. And GCAD just not looked the same since back in 2019. Not much we can do, guys. Again, I just follow my plan, very strict, and when my potential entry comes, I have no say as to what time that might present. Monday it happened on stream. Tuesday it happened with the members for the MI call yesterday. Today, if and when it does, I don't know. Just need to chill. Kieran in a sell 33.63, taking 50% partials, and nice one. At least that's a man for plan. Good work. Good work. That's what I'm happy to hear. Taking some partials, so you're not being too greedy. You've got your stop loss safely at break even. That's your plan. You might even decide to trail your stop loss if this candle breaks the low of the previous candle. You might decide to trail it below the current, above the current candle's current swing high. But that's what I like to hear.
I like movement. I like the movement on GJ. It makes those cells feel a bit more likely if it does now break.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, strong rejection.
Having formed and then that as rejection.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
Exactly what we love to see prior to an entry, especially when it's been a big strong uptrend. We want to see price retest the support, bounce off it, trigger in some buyers, form support again, wipe those buyers out, close below, and then there's a much higher probability it's going to continue to sell off. So yeah, I agree. Starting to look a little better. Bastion in the 5-minute chart, gold, the resistance was broken. This resistance, it's just not trending at the minute though. It's very slow. A lot of news about it as well, so maybe waiting for a news catalyst, who knows. We'll stick with gold anyway for the time being. How much did you make today? I've not taken a trade today. It's not about, again, I can't stress enough, it's about doing things correctly. The money will come, the money will follow if you can just do things correctly and find a formula that works for you. TFX, please tell me no one is selling gold. If they have a reason to sell, there's nothing wrong with selling. I mean, right there would have been probably a decent option. Wasn't on charts for it. That was 1 PM my time. Was at the gym. TFX, just be very careful. Just be very, very careful where you're trading, my friend. Where you walk, because you soon might be on the outer. Anyone could come on here and pretend to be some genius when it comes to trading. If you're that good, dude, why aren't you streaming? I agree with a lot of what you say, but just be careful because you're starting to push the boundaries a little bit too far. The last account got banned. We obviously violating the rules of TikTok. I don't know what you were doing. I understand that, but if you're on here, just be careful. Don't go promoting your own thing. Because this is my stream, my friend. And be very careful if anyone sends you a DM. Guys, don't be stupid. Don't be daft. They can claim to be any genius. Watch them do it live. Victor FX, thank you for the sticker. That's what I always recommend. It doesn't have to be me. It could be whoever resonates for you, whatever streamer. If you like the way they trade, want to know a little bit more about them, then why not find out for yourself? And to be honest, most of us, the streamers in our groups, what we charge is very affordable. We don't charge thousands. It's the ones that you don't see take a trade or don't stream. They just post the occasional trade. Promoting some course, they sell it for like $1,000, $2,000. Or they'll, you know, $500 for a month for a group, and they'll include a few signals. We do it differently. I make mine more than affordable. Plus, I give out a lot more information than I reckon any of the others ever would. And that's the honest truth. I know for a fact I've been in different groups and I've dished out a lot more. None of them ever had a full course as well. Gold here. So we're just waiting. Could we have a limit order buy now on the zone to zone? That is what I'm looking at just now. Got to now determine a few things. What would stop loss be? About 50 pips, which for gold is it's quite normal, to be honest. Cannot tap into target. Has to close minimum 10 pips. I would say even probably more, to be honest, with the current volume. So let's just say 36, 62 roughly. Is where we want this count to close above in the next 6 and a bit minutes. If it does so, I may look for a limit order buy. I could have that most recent bearish count. Well, not the most oh, actually, that's the first option. We have an interruption play as well here. We've got the impulse, pause, impulse. That is a really, really strong and valid interruption just there. Potential entry. So maybe it could be one where you scale in, you take a small entry, maybe at the first potential level. One moment, guys, one moment. Just one moment, guys. I'll be back for. Apologies, guys. All right, I'm going to look for the interruption play because that is a valid trade just there. So what that would mean is I would be placing a buy limit, sorry, on the closure in this candle, at 33.58.60. Now you could take a slightly earlier option on the on a zone to zone buy limit order here. It may be valid as well if it closes strongly enough above this minor resistance in anticipation new accounts could create a lower wick, tag you in, bounce off that point. So it could be worthwhile adding a small position at that point as well. So your two potential entry points, well, depending on what broker you're using, but for me it's 33.58.49 as one. 33.58. $49. All right. So maybe I'll set a small position for there. Put risk, I'll input half the trade at that point. And then potentially another one at the high of this actual resistance here at 33.60.7 roughly. Can't tap in next 3.5 minutes. It cannot tap into 33.65.80. Bro, hello to you. How you going, mate? Been a while. It's Pan on Gold. Looking for limit orders here. Got a valid interruption play just there, and we've got a valid zone to zone potentially. The other thing is GJ, if it does close below, we've got potential sell options on GJ moving forward as well. So just under 3 minutes remaining, guys, until we've got potentially a valid option here on gold. CFX, I don't need your help, mate. Don't need your help, it's all good. Mohammed, you on here, what's your prediction on gold? Prediction, I'm waiting for just over 2 minutes for this count to close, and I might have potential buy limit. First option will be at the high of this resistance, 33.60.7, and a second option at the high of that bearish candle. TFX, all good. Humi, thank you. Again, just experience. It's all it is, time and charts. Being patient. ZM? No, I'm not selling. The fly? Again, I have ways of going about managing myself in profit. So I'll look to take partials, depending on this one entry as well. So just keep an eye out, keep watching. I'll do call everything as you know when I'm managing trades, what I'm doing, how I'm going about it. Jenga, good one. DVN project. Broker, type in the chat. Alright, so the buy limit on the zone to zone likely not going to be valid, but the interruption play, I'm still going to trust it. I still like it. We've bounced off of support. Nice strong engulfing candle. So it looks like we could get that interruption, potential interruption order here. And your stop loss would have to be below the low of bearish candle. So you're looking about close to 40 pips. Oh, how far did it close above in the end? That's not good. Because we're respecting the resistance here. I would have wanted to close just above it, to be honest, because then we've confirmed a clear break and close above fact that we closed below it only to reject suggests that maybe we grab liquidity from the upside. Yeah, that's not, I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. Because this is the target. We're tapped into a target after that pause. Now, what I want to see in this situation is for price. Again, very strict, very disciplined approach, but I want it to close safely above it because then we've cut through it. I'm no longer concerned by it. The fact of the matter that we've actually rejected it only to close just back below it suggests to me that maybe we've grabbed some liquidity from the upside. And if we do begin to reject, could in fact close back a bearish candle, could be triggered in, it ends up closing bearish, new candle opens, lower high, lower low, your stop loss is hit. So the back of that, I need to just wait. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna, for the sake of it, take a second rate trade. It's just not worth it. When it comes to, you know, calling signals out, I could not give a shit. I could not care less, because what my duty is to do is to coach and train traders, guys and ladies, how to train with discipline, patience, and with probability. At this rate, in accordance to my data, the way that candle closed, it will not be a high probability setup anymore. So I just need to wait, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. ZM, you seeing manipulation? Booze, can you buy now? If you want, but again, I've explained what I'm doing, I'm just waiting. Agreed, weight is paid, exactly. Really wanted that to close above here. And now this is all good because again I can reassess. And now if this candle closes bearish, then the options will be to wait and see if we get the following candles close bullish back above the resistance, and then the buys are back on the table. Or if it closes bearish and then we have a little pause, bullish candle, we're still below the resistance here, then you could have potential options to sell it, as long as you got the margin back down. The tank buy or sell gold. The minute, again, I've explained what I'm doing, I'm just waiting. Just looking for the limit order buy. Had this candle closed above that resistance at the high of this bearish candle, but it closed back below it, so that shows signs of potential rejection, of potential exhaustion to the upside. So now I'm just waiting for another catalyst to give me a signal, whether it be this candle closing bearish followed by bullish engulfing back above the resistance. That could be an option. or could still perhaps get involved in some sells, but still need to wait. D'Angelo, yep, so just answer that. Goodbye, TFX. Just don't trust it. Guy claims to be a signal provider. Forex mentor analyst. Reckons he's called 2 trades on the stream so far. Sorry, mate. Bye bye. Browning, what time frame is this? This is the 15. Shock shield electrical. What time frame? The candle. Yep, so 15. Eleanor, +1. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Just chilling. That's all we're doing. Again, it's all about patience and discipline. Leyland, but good discipline. Thank you, mate. And again, it may actually work, but I'm just following my plan. It's in the course, in the section where I cover the interruption play. It's actually in it where price taps into a level and taps into a target. It's not valid. But if it bursts through the target and we close safely into a new range above, then it's a different story. I consider it to be a wipeout of the resistance, and therefore at that point it's still valid. The entry back alive, that bearish candle. But because it failed to close above and respected this level, suggests to me that maybe it's just a bit of exhaustion. We could perhaps reject and come back down a bit further. So I've just got to, again, play to my strengths, play to what, you know, the data suggests to me for all my, you know, trading and testing. That's exactly what I'm doing. Reg? No, not yet. Wow, GJ. It's really respecting this level, isn't it? For our support. It is in an uptrend at the moment. It's very bullish. It's bullish across the board, so it makes sense for it to continue to respect it. I just cannot find an option to buy it at the minute because there is no margin. You're right back in the middle of this range, so it's still at this rate, it's still best to wait for a buy above 195 flat, basically. Maya, you don't worry about tagging TFX anymore because I've just blocked him from the stream. So be careful of, anyway, you shouldn't be able to access you guys anymore because you shouldn't be able to see who follows me. You shouldn't be able to find my account.
So easy to go onto somebody else's stream and say, oh, I'm calling this, this, and this. If you're that good at it, set up your own stream and then everybody will come to it.
Exactly. Correct. And how about the trades that you don't mention that you took a big loss on? If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. But anyway, as Yelly, thank you for the sticker. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I see some buys on GU. The next M30 candle. So I marked my chart a little bit different as your one. So the H4 I marked it correct down.
Yep.
So when we close above this, maybe I see a chance because on the left side there's clean traffic. On my broker, this bullish candle what you have on the left side, on the upper left side.
Just there?
No, I mean, if you are looking on the range, correct, this one, this
Yep.
is for me a bearish candle.
Oh, okay, yep. Makes sense because
So
it's doji.
I have
Clean traffic.
at the end. Yeah.
Yep.
So if
Nice
we
one.
close above this resistance, maybe I will take some buys.
Okay, yep. Clean area. nice strong bounce off support. Yeah, not quite triggering in any sellers at the minute. It would be nice if perhaps you had a 15-minute pause in between, but it does make sense. I do definitely see the option there.
Yeah, at the end, it's actually it's not moved much GU right now, so it's about 30 pips, so which is nothing.
Yeah.
For the day. So maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Sweat will come down, back down. Sweat the Asian session low actually. Asian session lows would have been somewhere around here. Yeah, so swept that, it's popping back up. So perhaps yes, I mean, maybe it's grabbed liquidity from the downside to make the move back up. So it does look pretty good. Don't mind what I'm seeing on gold here too, because if this closes weak bearish like so, then there's going to be options for the buy. If we do close back above, then the buys are back on the table. What else? What have I missed? Lorenzo, well done, bro. The kind of people just block. Yeah, I agree. Do you share your signals here? Way to Jana too. I do. Yes, I do mention when I'm taking a trade. I always call it. But again, I'm very strict and disciplined trade. I trade based on rules, and I create the rules. You guys hear me create the rules for each trade. And if it ticks the box, I enter. If not, I just wait. Nathan, look at NQ. I had a look at it before. What am I to look at just now? It's just, yeah, there's nothing on it. I mentioned I wanted to come back down to the 4-hour support to look for buys. Potential buys above the minor resistance 21.72.6 and buys above 21.750. Mark, just happy for me to block accounts and mute. If they're like, you know, that you get the deal, man. If they're coming on here promoting themselves or whatever, you can just block them. If you're not too sure, just mute them and all good. Oh, it didn't quite tap into that level and it's popping back up. And it's all good because this closes above. Again, my next potential signal and just reassessing his data prints will be this. Little pause, still got room to the upside. If we get a little pause on next M15, I'll be looking to enter above the pause. And once again, it's just me training to my signals in price action that I know that work for me. Not forcing anything, not trying to jump in without, you know, what I determine to be a valid signal. Got the 30 closing above. Hang on. The limit order could be back on the table on the 30. The buy limit. Zone to zone buy limit could be back on the table here, guys. Because this is what I wanted to see on the 15 initially. So we want to close strong. We don't want to start to pull back. Again, it's all valid across the board on basically all the time frames, really. Even the high time frame, I've caught a entry on an interruption on the weekly before. Didn't actually take it, but it worked. So it's relevant across the board when it comes to mostly, well, to the entries. In this case, the limit orders. So wanted to pop up a little bit stronger though. Wanted to close a little bit higher. This rate's only about 7.5 pips above the resistance, which isn't quite cutting it. But could we get the buy? Closure above? Let's see. It's not quite high enough above. Let's just measure it. Yeah, 8 and a bit pips. Still preferring that little pause.
GBpjpy.
Yeah, nice closure above.
I was looking on the 1 minute at least, which was closing above, and then
You got the retest, yep.
yeah, correct. So and now it makes a retest.
Yeah, see, I'd be placing the buy stop just now.
Yeah,
Tapping in.
yeah. I see it right now. So also the stop loss is not that good. So coming down to the 50. Okay, stop loss not. Okay, this was not really a good entry.
Yeah, I think you need to get in with momentum as it begins to break its own high. Personally.
I will close half right now.
Alright, being very strict with that. I mean, that's a good thing. You admit to making a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I'm closing half, so I negate my risk right now.
Yeah, nice one. Alright, let's see what's going on here on gold. Right, so we've got no lower wick on the 30 now. We've got a 30-minute closing above the resistance. So if we approach the high, and this is looking good, if now we begin to reject, flip bearish, create that lower wick, we may have some options here on gold. We've already broken, retested, and we're now back above. We just need to now flip and create that lower wick. If it does so, stop loss, you could run with a really small stop based off the entry count, which means it's difficult to manage, but you know, it's a smaller stop loss. So depending on how you go about trade positions, trade sizes, I use fixed lots, so it would mean a pretty small loss even if it did reject. I just need to create that lower wick. I want to create a decent lower wick too, and if it does so, then I'm going to set a buy stop back above this candle's high, because we do have a catalyst here on a 30. We have closed above the resistance, so off the back of that, like I mentioned at the beginning early in the stream, if we break above a ceiling, retest it, respect it, and that turns into the floor, and then the next likely destination is the next ceiling at the resistance above. So I need just to flip and create that lower wick. If it does so, it's a valid entry. Without it, there's no entry. So let's see. Want it to flip. If it doesn't, if it pops up too much, then forget it. It's not going to be an option. It's going without us. Alright, it needs to reject now. Otherwise, we're not going to have the margin. 7? No, not at the moment. Where would you put stop loss and gold trade? The stop loss would be below the entry candle. Oz, hi, what do you close strong look like? What does a close strong, sorry, look like? Well, that's a pretty strong close, to be honest. That's closed with a lot of volume within the candle. It's a strong body candle. It's closed above a resistance. That to me is a very strong close. Even that's a strong close, but had no upper wick. So that's what put me off looking for the entry, or taking the entry at that point. Joseph, when I join ByBit, do I get signals? It's not a signal service, mate. I call trade. It's a trade ideas section. So gold's gone. Forget it. Again, I'm just sticking to my rules, guys, because the amount of times candles are going to have wicks in both directions is 95+% of the time. I'm not taking it without it, and I'm happy not to. Again, I'm just following my rules. So I have what I call the trade ideas section. When I'm on the charts, if I see something, if I'm taking a trade, I call. And that was yesterday, and that was a trade called just before I started streaming. We were in it for the NY session. It was a nice win. So I do call trades, but again, I'm not sitting there. It's not about a signal service. I'm there to basically to mentor, to coach. I provide a heap of content, heaps of content. including a full course. But yeah, if I'm on the chart and I see something I like and I'm gonna trade it, I do call it. I call every trade I take is in there, every single trade. It all gets
re-entered, Justin. Sorry.
yeah, that position, nice one. Scaled in, I like it because now it's looking a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I have also a better stop loss.
Much better. Yep. Good way to scale back in. Volsgonski. Yeah, so like my trade journal, every single trade. If it's not in there, it's because it was in the trade ideas section, so I didn't bother. And I add a little clip as to why I took the trade. I go into full detail. Confluences, you get all this, because if you are to follow this and you are to watch the videos and see how I go about things, you get to learn as to what gives me the reason to take an entry and why I believe it was a probable entry or why I believe it wasn't a great entry, things like that. So that's what I do. You know, I think it's very beneficial for my team. It's all in there. Alright, gold is completely gone in a minute, so not much we can do about that. Here. Hopefully it pushes up. Newton, I saw the bias day, I analyzed live, then share the signal. What, on GJ? What are you talking about? The buyer that were all in the members group. Yeah, so it's not a signal service because I'm not going to sit there for 8 hours a day hunting trades. It's not what I do. Plus, I won't let the charts dictate my life. It's not why we trade. We trade for freedom, guys. We trade because we can make money, you know, from anywhere within the world. And we can choose what times we want to trade, you know, what suits us. So some might want to trade like a full-time day job, 9 hours, 10 hours a day. It's up to you. I don't choose to trade that way. I think it's, to be honest, I've always mentioned, you lose focus. I think you can, the max you can really sit there without just getting tired and bored and, you know, fidgety and reckless is probably a few hours. You need to get up, take a break. You know, you might want to split it over 2 sessions. If you might even want to split over the 3 sessions if you really want to. But I would not sit there for longer than maybe a couple hours at a time, max. Oh, look at that rejection on gold. Trust me, if you can learn to hunt your own tradable fish, wait patiently for your own signals, you'll be much better off moving forward. I used to do the same. I used to just want a signal, but half the time didn't understand it, or if I took it, maybe managed it differently. Took a loss, we get shitty, try to re-enter. I just had enough of it. At that point, it was time for me to learn to call my own signals, take my own trades. And it's all good because again, I've got another opportunity later on with my team. In a few hours from now, I'm on for about an hour and a half. Now I'm 45 or so. Max probably about 2 hours with the members.
Same time as yesterday.
Yeah, it'll be pretty much the same time. Look, if I see something presenting again, I'll jump on a little bit early. Yeah, but otherwise probably about now before NY open. Xauusd electrical. Do you trade in other Forex or shares? Just pound yen is the other pair I trade personally, and equities, no. Indices perhaps moving forward, but yeah. Jenga.
50% in my trade.
Oh, it's rejecting. Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm willing to close at 5 pips completely.
All right. Very, very strict discipline.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough, mate. You were accepting of the risk, and you weren't mucking around with it too, so you managed it very well, which makes it a lot easier to cover moving forward.
It's closed. It's closed.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah, perhaps it needs a little bit of exhaustion once you get this level.
Maybe, yeah.
Before making the move. You have gold rejecting as well at the minute. Lynching, we keep holding gold. Fair enough. The Rindra BTC. Looks like shit. Doesn't look great. Weekly close bearish. Current candle and inside bar candle, not a great deal of volume. So I've mentioned though, as long as it really remains above this support, really above 102, 101, 101.5, then it's still in a very strong uptrend. Daily will remain bullish. It's that time frame, the structure itself. Counter probabilities though, if it breaks lower than the previous, good chance it could make a deeper pullback, maybe towards that 104 flat sort of region. 4 hour is in fact bearish. Be marking that level just there. Sorry, let me zoom in. Got some support here, so potential level for it to bounce off to look for buys. M30 is definitely in an uptrend as long as it remains above this support, so therefore bias is neutral, but I would say as long as it remain above 104, 105, that sort of region, I prefer to buy it. But the fact of the matter is, it's just an absolute choppy mess. So in this situation, well, I'd be marking that resistance in. I don't see anything. Whilst it's in amongst this, it's a write-off. It needs to create a clean move to cut through that crap, whether it's the upside, rejection for a sell, and then to downside, bouncing off for a buy, or buys above this resistance, looks clean to the left. At that point, if you break the resistance form within a daily candle, next likely level is 106.337, so look for buys above 105.90. And for the sells, even to the downside, you got choppy traffic to the left, so exact same thing to the downside. Clean move down, cut through the mess, pull back, rejection for sells. That's how I'd be doing it, to be honest. To me, the best area to get involved in any trade on Bitcoin right now is above 105.890, because it's much cleaner above that point. F90, I think gold kept rising. Again, what I think and what it could do, who knows? We just have to wait. All right, for there to be one final potential entry, we need this candle to close right in. Well, you need to push now, drop back below this 3360 region in the next 15 seconds, followed by a little weak pause on the next 10-15. We need a strong rejection just here in the next 10 seconds. I want it to remain above this point. Yeah, so it's not going to happen. Mr. Alu Boy, which strategy do you use here? Analyze, confirm, trade, mate. All based on price action at predetermined levels. term buyers are looking at different time frames, starting from the high time frames down. No fair value gaps, no SMC, it's none of that. It's my own thing put together over, you know, collection of learning from the past 8 or so years. I don't use fair value gaps or anything like that. I let price action dictate my entries. All right, so respecting that level at the minute, there's nothing, guys. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, up to. All right, it's approaching resistance. Could be GJ again today, team. Seems to be trending a lot better than gold still. Well, actually not in the minute, but if it just needs to make a move out of this, if it begins to pop above, there's definitely, I'm going to be keen on looking for a buy. Pos below. I just like the levels on GJ. It looks a lot cleaner. Gold, we can now, I don't want to remove that just yet because we do respect it, but you could pretty much add another zone in just there. So this rate, the only potential sell I could get involved in. So the catalyst here would be the bearish engulfing M30, and quite frankly, it's not going to cut it, and it's not likely to happen. If it does happen, massive stop loss, not enough margin. It's just is what it is. Not as good as the catalyst as it is. It's just likely not going to happen. So next potential option would be a closure back below here in the 15. And then once again, followed by a little bit of a weak pause on the next 15. But respecting this resistance, creating that minor support just below the resistance. And then if we were to continue bullish, then we don't really have a need to break it. So if we create a bit of a low wick and begin to flip, break above the highs, high probability of back above that 33.60. However, if on the flip side, we end up breaking that minor support form below the resistance, there's a high probability we're going to make the move back down. And again, that's just a signal that I am familiar with that works for me 8 to 10 times out of 10. Without it, doesn't mean it won't make the move or can't make the move. It could easily just melt now. But to me, you know, from my history, my data, it's not as you know, probable. I'd rather miss it and let it make the move and just wait for something I'm familiar with. Because with the fact of the matter is we've closed above the most recent resistance here, so could it easily just reject and pop back up? You know, we did wick down below it only to reject and end up closing back above it on the previous candle. Current candle could have easily done the same thing, so therefore I'd rather not take it on this candle and wait for it to reset. So by resetting, it will give me a signal. So again, I need it to create that little pause. If it did so, then potentially I've got another signal. If not, and it just happens to melt, then again I need to reassess and wait to see how price reacts to, well, that should be bearish. Jeez, having a shocker here. And then just wait and see how price reacts to the support back again here at 33, 55, 56, that sort of region. So yes, it means I might miss a lot of moves, whatever. But when I do trade, I'm trading a familiar pattern within price action that I know works for the most part nearly every single time. Not always, of course, you can't win every single trade, but you know there's a really good chance you're going to be on the end of a winning trade if you just patiently wait for it to present. Not get tempted at anything in between. Because you may get away with it once or twice, but eventually you're going to get burnt. and sometimes really, really hard. Great heist, buy and hold. When it comes to where I believe in the future gold will be at, I think that's a really good thing to do. To be honest, I think you can't go wrong with buying and holding gold. Or silver. Wait for this thing to move, man. If you think gold's been a big uptrend, just wait for this thing to get going. It often lags gold, silver, but you know when you're in a big uptrend, bull trend in the metals market, when silver overtakes gold, and it will absolutely pump. Leyland, do you know how much I love it? I told you on the call yesterday how much I've bought over the past month. 40-year cup and handle, I'll take it, mate. This thing's gonna pump. It will absolutely pump. One day, silver's gonna make me a very happy man. I'm prepared to be patient. Couldn't care less if it's 10 years down the track. I have to wait, I have to wait. Low buy or sell, nothing in a minute. What's platinum like these days? I think it hit a 52-week high just recently, didn't it? Did it not? Check against US dollar. Yeah, shit. Yeah, it did reach a high just recently. It's so close to buying platinum a while back. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Still think this is very undervalued as well, though. Don't have any platinum. Thing is, I don't want to buy fractional. I'd rather buy at least just 1 ounce. I don't think it's really worth buying fractional because of the premium on it. Alright, so could end up back at the support here on gold. So it's moving, guys. It's all good. It's moving without my signal. It's not fast, not stressed, because I know I'm patient and wait, I might get my option later moving forward. So all good. And the good thing is now it's kind of making some clean moves. It opens up the ranges again to more probable entries. Hicker's currency, this is gold.
I waited all day for that GJ sell on Monday, and it works perfectly when it happens.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So worth waiting.
Exactly. If you just have the patience to wait for your original plan to play out, and you know the probabilities are very high at that point, it's so satisfying, isn't it? That you actually sat there and waited for it to present, as opposed to chasing it or jumping in halfway for the sake of it, because you thought, well, if I'm going to sell it from below support or whatever, and I think it's going to get there, I might as well just sell it now. And that's the shit I used to do, and I suppose I'm sure a lot of you used to do, or still probably do that at the minute. Same thing, obviously yesterday. Last Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it was about half an hour after the stream. I remember waiting, holding on to see if we can get that gold entry, and eventually we got it like half an hour after the stream and called it in the trade ideas section. I know some of the guys took it. It is very satisfying if you just wait for your plan to present. 7 Cloud Star. This rate, gold's just making moves without me in it. So now we're back at this support. I prefer to buy it. Yeah, but it's not going to happen at the minute, guys. I'm going to get going. I'm going to go have some dinner because I've got, again, a date with the members later on. If it closes below as well, it's pushed way too far as well. Stop loss is going to be huge. Big rejection in the hourly. Wow, that is one ugly candle. Yeah, there's no entry for me at the minute. Maybe you will get that bearish engulfing. I mentioned before it's not going to happen, but it may happen here on the 30, which is a strong catalyst. But again, the stop loss is huge, irrespective of it. You don't have the margin. The stop loss is massive, so I'm not going to force it. I'm going to chill, come back, and see where we're at in a bit of time, and jump on a call with my team. Otherwise, guys, I will be back tomorrow, same time as today. Do trade safe. Obviously, a big day of news with ADP to come, so be wary of that for those who are trading into NY today. Appreciate the support on stream today. To my team, I'll see you guys in a couple hours from now. Take care.
See you in New York, bro.
Cheers, man. Franco, Leyland, Mr. Tommy Jordan, and Marvy. Catch you guys later. And so TikTok, YouTube, appreciate the support as per the usual. Gold doing its thing, but we'll have better days. We'll have more opportunities to come. And for me, it's good test of patience, good test of discipline, and nothing lost. So all good. Move on. Catch you guys tomorrow. Trade safe, guys. Have a good one. Cheers. All the best. Bye, team.